The murder suspect led officers on a high-speed chase here along Highland Avenue, bringing them across Mackenzie Avenue onto this dirt road. We're standing on what would normally be the sidewalk of the main stretch of Woodland Park. Are you doing anything to repair the apartment in 770, apartment 5? Do you live here? This is what's left of a roof that was ripped off of the home right next door to us early yesterday morning. For those of you just tuning into our Facebook Live right now, we are at the scene of a possible shooting near Memorial Park. The dirt filled with hundreds of contaminants like these tires is brought over here where crews are taking it through a massive sifting process. But we found just moving south of town towards Walsenburg, these winds only got worse.
Lena, wow, you look comfortable.
Relaxing. Very comfortable, you guys. Now, a very telling sign of just how busy things are going to get here over the weekend. So we're going to give it a quick shot while we're out here. All right, we made a quick shot. The pictures of the horse on scene today are so disturbing, we have chosen not to show you them. The family, still in shock, just wants to know who would do such an unspeakable thing.
I never expected anything like this.
Steve MAEZ told me someone had cut the chain on the front gate to his property, the lock on his semi-trailer, and one of his fences.
My first thought when I saw the fence down was that somebody had stolen her.
What he found in the shed, an unimaginable horror.
One of our horses had been butchered out.
The lifeless body of his family's 22-year-old horse named Nikki in pieces.
There was not much left of her, let's put it that way. The front quarters were there, and of course the skeletal system was intact, but they cut all the pieces of meat out of around the bones and stuff like that that they wanted to take.
And as if that wasn't enough,
it appears that it's for consumption, the way it was cut up.
Nikki was also missing her heart and her liver.
And when I saw it, it's like, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. That somebody would torture an animal and do that to them, you know?
His wife, Marie, in shock.
To know that, you know, she died in here is just an eerie feeling.
With no streetlights or cameras on this county dirt road, she says it's likely this happened in the middle of the night. The closest neighbor said he didn't see or hear anything.
It just breaks her heart because she's, you know, your animals are like your kids. You raise them, you feed them. You know, you take care of them, you take them to the vet when they're sick.
And they're worried about their other horse and mule still left behind on this property.
I'm a little afraid. I mean, you know, we have other animals, and, you know, if they did this to an innocent animal, what's next?
Hoping neighbors will keep a closer watch.
Somebody's out there that's doing this, and they may strike again somewhere else.
The windows doesn't lock. There's cracks, see there? This area here is broken off, and there's a cockroach right there.
It's been one thing after another at this Pine Creek Village apartment starting on Sunday.
This is the furnace that caught fire.
Nikki Butler and her wife just moved into this apartment on Friday.
And there were a lot of smoke containing, coming from the furnace. Into both bedrooms.
She called the fire department only to find out carbon monoxide had been leaking into their apartment.
And they told us if we didn't pay attention and that never occurred, the smoke and the little fire, and we would have just laid back down and went back to sleep, we wouldn't probably have woken up.
Springs Utilities cut off their heat at 4 on Sunday morning, and they've been without it ever since. They took their concerns to management.
This was like this when we moved in.
But management hasn't fixed their problems and refuses to move them to a different unit.
They told us that they will not be able to close out our lease and give us our money back.
They were also told breaking their lease would cost upwards of $9,000.
We're like basically stuck here because we don't have any money to pay to get out of the lease.
So we took these concerns to the apartment's property manager.
It's trespassing.
Oh,
we'll have to call the cops.
We were invited on by one of your
we'll
tenants.
call the cops.
Okay, we just had a couple questions for you.
No comment.
Are you doing anything to repair the apartment in 770, apartment 5? Do you live here?
No, ma'am.
You don't live here? How do you sleep at night knowing that people are living with roaches?
Despite a few more attempts. Excuse me, Ashley, could you come talk to us? We haven't gotten a response back.
After hearing about a long history of similar complaints about the Pine Creek Village apartment complex, we are now working on finding out what's going on here and why the same thing keeps happening. It gives kids an opportunity to be a part of the construction while also giving the workers a face and a name to remind them of why they're building.
Are you ready to go?
She might be the smallest worker on site.
Are you excited? This is going to be a fun adventure.
She got her own hard hat, glasses, and safety vest fit for the new girl in charge.
How are you?
You see, 3-year-old Aubrey Hope Hughes has spent most of her life fighting to stay alive.
She was born with half of a heart. When she was 26 days old, she had her first open heart surgery, and after that, things went downhill.
She's gone through 11 surgeries, 3 of them open hearts with the scar to prove it. And her journey with Children's Hospital doctors is not over yet.
My chest so hard.
Her mother, Mandy, says she'll eventually need a heart transplant.
She's definitely a walking miracle, especially after everything that she's been through. We're just grateful that we get to have her.
That's why construction workers at the new Children's Hospital in Colorado Springs are hoping to give her and her family a little break.
Can you say hi to Aubrey over the radio?
Hi, Aubrey. How are you doing?
Say, hey, good.
Good.
Makes you realize what the important things are in life, and when you see these little ones come through here, just lifts your heart beyond belief to be able to see the joy in their eyes, even though they're going through such tremendous challenges every day.
Her picture and story will remain staked out in the heart of the multi-million-dollar construction project all quarter long to serve as a daily reminder for workers like Dave Kenny.
It makes everything we have to do seem that much easier when we know who we're doing it for. See the big red tower with the little box on top of it?
That's where Mike's sitting.
Oh, look, he's waving at you. Look, can you see him up
He's
there?
waving.
Leaving their hearts full at the end of each day.
The smiles is why we're here. I mean, that's why we're building this thing, is so we keep smiles like that.
A day at the hospital without the doctors, the needles, the hospital gowns.
You know, it's actually really neat to come see the guys here who are building it. It's pretty neat to see everything that's put into it.
And the best part,
Do I already know how?